Life throws at us some crazy situations. You tried really hard to make sure nothing goes wrong, that everything goes perfectly as planned, everything goes well. You want all the wealth, all the health, everything you could possibly want. You want to avoid all of the bad things. But just when you think you have everything under control, things fall apart. What do you do then? How do you handle it when things don't go your way? Let's discuss an amazing idea that can help you strive and achieve contentment and happiness, in spite of all these trials and tribulations that life throws at you. Now, we won't minimize the pains of life and all the things that life brings, but this idea will free you from its grip and help you strive toward the path of your destiny. And that idea is to focus on only that which you can control. The first inherent problem that life poses to us is that there are things that you want in life and there are things that you want to avoid in life. And that by itself poses a potential problem. I want you to make a quick mental list or go ahead and jot down all the problems that you potentially have and the things that you want out of life and the things that you don't want, the things that you're trying to avoid. Let me make a hypothetical list. I want that girl or that boy to be my girlfriend, boyfriend. I want to be rich and famous. I want to drive a Lamborghini. Now I'm aware everyone's wants. These are just hypotheticals. It's all going to be related to you. Now let's think of a hypothetical what I don't want. I don't want those people to laugh at me. I don't want this video to flop. I don't want to get sick. I don't want to lose someone that I love. Now let's analyze some of these things. And I want you to ask yourself one important question when you look at these things that you want and the things that you don't want. Is this thing 100% absolute in your control? The thing that you want or the things you don't want? Are you in 100% in absolute control of that thing? I'm aware that there might be some partial control, which we'll talk about later in the video, but are you in 100% control? Can you guarantee that you'll be rich? Can you guarantee that you will marry or be with that girl or boy? Can you guarantee that you will not go broke or be poor ever? Can you guarantee that you will never lose someone that you love? Are you in complete control of how people behave towards you and how they treat you? Now let's be honest and put vagueness aside and complicated thinking, and let's think from first principles as Elon Musk says. The truth is, and the reality is, these things that I mentioned, you have absolutely no control over them. You have 100% no control of what happens or acquiring those things or avoiding those things. You cannot force people to treat you a certain way. And if you don't have the means to buy this really expensive car like a Lamborghini, then it's simply impossible. And this is where life's unhappiness comes from focusing on that which you cannot control. I mean, think about it. If your neighbor's house, they painted it red, would you go and paint it white? Now, let's be reasonable here. There's things that you cannot control. But what you can do is you can potentially move, you could potentially have a discussion with them about their choices, or you could choose to ignore it. So now let's look through your list of things and let's focus on the things that you say, that you're not in your control, and let's focus on the things that you can control. So for example, let's take the idea of wanting to be rich. Now, it's not in your control if you're going to be rich or poor, because life can throw things at you that you cannot control. But what is in your control? You can control saving money, you could invest money, you could seek means of acquiring wealth, you can study. And what about people not liking you or your coworkers treating you badly? You can't control their behavior, but what you can potentially do is you can give them directives. You could express yourself on how you feel. You could speak to someone else. You could completely avoid them or move away from the problem, or you could also choose to ignore them. When you look at it, you discover that you have a lot of things that are actually in your control that you can do regarding the matter. And you realize that it's futile to focus on what you can't control. Look through this list and realize that there have been things that you've been focusing on that are outside of your control that probably have been driving you crazy, and be amazed and relieved at seeing all the things that you can do and all the things that you actually can control to strive towards happiness and to achieve that thing that's on the list. When you focus only on that which you can control, you can strive towards happiness and contentment constantly, because whatever is in your control, you're 100% able to accomplish it. So it's as if you're a living, breathing, accomplishing machine. On the opposite side of the coin, if you focus on the things that you cannot control, you're leading yourself to a life of misery, because you are guaranteed, nearly guaranteed, to not be able to accomplish and not get the things that are not in your control because you have no power over them. As for the things that we said you may be partially in control of, keep in mind this. Look through your list and look at the things that you cannot control. And look at the things that you can control and ask yourself, could I be potentially influencing these things that I cannot control by the things that I can control? Maybe the things that I can control can influence the things that I can't control. So you want to direct your focus on the things that you can control. I'll leave you with these words. Your happiness and contentment can be born and can sprout when you focus on the things that you can control. And you could avoid misery and resentment and pain by letting go of the things that you have no power over. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Subscribe and like the video and send it to a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next one.